Hey guys, I want to talk about a really serious taboo. It hides under the mask of doing good, but actually it puts a lot of friction in relationships and it can tear them apart. I'm talking about the dangers of overgiving, the dark side of giving. It's good to give and it's wonderful, but there comes a point where we're trying to get all of our needs and desires met by giving to others, that it goes too far and it tips into the dark side. What am I talking about? Well, look, if you are someone who gives a lot, then the likelihood is that you're not very good at asking for the things that you want. And despite not asking, we all have needs, okay? We all have desires. So when I look back to my own history, when I look at when I was giving a lot to people, there's always something that I wanted, but I didn't say what it was because I was like scared to say. I was embarrassed. I felt shy. I thought that, people might reject me if I asked. So instead, I just gave, right? But because I had some expectation of receiving something back, it means like I started feeling entitled to certain things. I'll give you an example. I had a business project where I wanted more profit than my business partner. But instead of having a discussion and working it out, which would have been, for some reason, I was kind of scared of doing that. So instead, one year I worked triple hard, and I just expected when it was time to divide the profits, my partner would go, "Oh, you've worked triple hard, of course, have a lot more of the profit." And that's not what happened. And when we did eventually come to discuss it, and I said, "Look, I've worked really hard, I deserve a lot more," my business partner was really confused, like, where did this come from? And you can see how that kind of entitlement can seep into relationships and cause resentment. And it can cause resentment both ways. The other person might be resenting you for giving so much. They might not want to receive it all. They might be scared, like, what are they going to ask for in return? Another way it causes friction is if you're around someone who they feel really validated by giving, then you can feel like you're a hostage, like you can't say no. I'm going to give you another example. My amazing mum. So when I went to visit her, she always wants to cook me my favorite food, and she always wants to make cakes and etc. etc. And I used to find it really hard to say that I didn't want the cakes. I mean, on some level, I did want the cakes, but also I was like, I don't want the cakes, mum. I can't afford to eat more cake. And she would prepare cakes anyway, right? Even though I explicitly said, look, please no cakes, she would prepare them. And I knew that if I didn't eat some of the cake, she would feel upset. So who wants to go around upsetting people, right? Much easier to accept the gift, to eat the cake. Now we're in a much better place with that now, by the way. But on some level, it's a manipulation. Instead of asking for the things you want, you try and create a situation where you hope, you pray it comes to you, or where you feel entitled to it, or where you feel people are more likely to give it to you. So there is a way out of the dark side and over into the space of integrity, into the space of good relating, healthy relating. And the way is simply by asking, by getting in touch with what it is that you're actually wanting and asking for it. And then something might happen. Like, let's take the example of my mum. maybe it's not that she wants me to eat the cake. Maybe what she's wanting is me to come more often, or maybe she wants to feel loved. Maybe she wants to feel my appreciation. So she can ask for that in different ways, right? Or I can guess. I can be like, "Oh, Mum, you're offering me a lot of cake. I'm just wondering, is it you'd like me to come more often? Is it you'd like me to appreciate your food? Is it, you can ask and maybe arrive on something, and maybe there's some way of giving that. What I tend to do now with my mum when I go there is just make sure we have time to go off together and really talk and really be together. Time to really listen to each other. So you overcome it by asking for the thing you want, and then you have to lean into the vulnerability of receiving it. Yesterday's video was all about how it can feel uncomfortable to receive, and it's much easier to give. So we can increase our capacity for receiving. And the way we do that is by setting up a container where we're receiving the thing we actually want to receive, and where there's no strings attached. And that's a subject I'll cover in another video. This is day 21 of 100. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. Do let me know how you find this video in the comments. See you tomorrow. Ciao.